Django, have you always been alone? Django! Django, have you never loved again? Love will live on.
Hey guys, this is Justin at the Survivor Review, and yesterday was Christmas, and I hope you guys had a great Christmas. I know I did. I got a lot of great stuff, and I saw Django Unchained, Quentin Tarantino's new movie, which is an epic spaghetti western, and boy, it delivers on what you'd expect from it. So to start out, I'll give you a basic gist of the plot. The movie starts out with this bounty hunter named Schultz, and he finds Django, who's a slave, and breaks him out to have him find these three slave owners and to kill them because he doesn't know what they look like. And after they do that, he's a free man, so now he's trying to get his wife back, who's still a slave. And that's the basic gist of the plot, but there's a lot in this movie. The movie's 2 hours and 45 minutes. Nearly 3 hours, and for the most part, I kept my attention. I'll get to that in a minute. Now the cast of this movie is great. The only person in the movie that didn't actually blow me away was Jamie Foxx as Django. He was good, but there's nothing that really blew me away. He was fine, but nothing blew me away. The people who stole the show is Leonardo DiCaprio as the main bad guy, Calvin Candy, he was awesome. He was crazy. But most of all, the best was Christoph Waltz as Schultz, bounty hunter. Now, you may know him from, he was the Jew hunter in Inglourious Bastards, and he was the bad guy in The Green Hornet, if anybody ever saw that movie. He steals the show. Every scene he's in, he's hilarious. He's great. He's a great actor. I really hope he gets nominated for an Oscar for this part, because he blows it out of the park. So the cast is really good. Now, I had a couple little issues. The movie is slow. Obviously, it's a Tarantino movie. Usually the movies are slow, but some of the scenes, they weren't that interesting. I felt like it kind of took me out a little bit. I was actually watching it, and I'd be like, yeah, that scene's a little slow. It didn't I got scenes from Inglourious Bastards. I'd be watching them, and by the end, I'd be like, I can't believe I didn't doze out at all during that scene. That was intensive. And the scenes at the beginning are like that. They're perfect. Quentin Tarantino is a director that can take a scene of just somebody explaining what a bounty hunter is and turn it into a really great, witty scene that you're listening in the whole time. And then there's a few moments that I really didn't get it to me. The story really kind of slowed down once it became Django going to DiCaprio to get revenge, to find his wife and stuff. That's when the movie kind of slowed down a little. And there's the music in this movie isn't all just Western music. There's a lot of 70s rock and roll, and that for some reason fits fine. But when they play, there's 2 times they play a rap song. The second time it isn't as bad because there's not as much lyrics to it, and it feels out of place. I don't know why, it just doesn't feel right. The first time the rap song came in, I was just like, oh. And some people in the audience were like that also, so I felt that was a little weird. And one of the things I have to say is, boy, Tarantino is really good when it comes to squids, which is just fake gunshots. There's a lot in this movie. There's no CG for these gunshots. This isn't Expendables where all the gunshots are CG and the blood's real quick. These are squids that literally blow up RoboCop style, and it's sweet. It's really well done, I'll be honest. The action scenes are all amazing and really funny. Really funny. There's this whole scene. I won't give too much away for it, but it's these KKK members all on horses, and Jonah Hill is in there. He's only in one scene, but he's in there. And they start talking, complaining how the masks, you can't see through them, and that's all I'll say. That part had me dying. That scene was great and hilarious. It took such a serious subject like the KKK, which isn't always funny and lighthearted, and turned them into hilarious scene with them just I can't see it, and rip it. Oh shoot, I messed up. Anybody got any more bags? And just perfect scene. So I had a few pacing issues. like I said, that not really the pace, just like the scene. That's kind of hard to explain. But the scene, the beginning of the movie has perfect fluidity. Like, it flows perfectly. It's well edited, you know, it's perfect. And the ending is pretty much around there, too. And if you're a Tarantino fan, you know he does this. But he does things where, like, he puts, like, his opening credits were, like, 70s age and stuff like that. Like, 70s, like, style. This has a lot of it. The opening credits is great. Perfect. The movie opens with, like, an 80s or, like, 70s style Columbia logo, which is great, which I had never seen that in big screen, so that was cool. And then it starts out with this theme, which is a really great, like, 70s, like, theme. Like, a whole, like, choir singing the word Django and stuff like that. And the words are popping up, you know, like, the credits are just all kind of, like, 70s-ish. Perfect opening credits, perfect way to start the movie. I would say that perfect. So, it's not Tarantino's best. I mean, there's no way he's going to make a movie that's going to beat Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction, which are, in my opinion, his two best. But it's definitely up there. It's really good. I would say it's about as good as Inglourious Basterds, which I really loved Inglourious Basterds. But it has been a while since I've watched that movie. I haven't seen it. I saw it in theaters and I saw it like one more time afterwards on DVD. So I might have to rewatch that. Maybe things will change. But it's a great mix. Like, it's something, the tone does kind of shift a little. Like, it goes from being like really funny to like really serious. And that could be a teeny bit like jarring. I mean, it's not too bad, but it's a teeny bit. But in general, it was a really great experience. Like, especially good going into it as a fan of Tarantino, which I first movie of his I saw in theaters, and the last one was Inglourious Basterds, but I didn't really care for it. I didn't care. I mean, I wasn't a Tarantino fan. I didn't know anything really about him. I hadn't seen Pulp Fiction. This one was really nice going in, knowing what to expect, and for the most part, getting my money's worth, because I thought it was really exceptional. Probably one of the year's best movies. Even though it has a few flaws, a few kind of pacing or storyline flaws. But besides that, the script is actually really good. I don't know if that makes sense, but like, there's a lot of great moments. It's like I said, it's a great experience. Something that you really should see in theaters. Like, that really adds to it. Even though you may be turned off by seeing a 2-hour, 45-minute movie in theaters, especially one that isn't always action. Like, Dark Knight Rises was that long, but at least had a fair amount of action scene and it had some really fast pace. These ones are mostly slow paced, but it was great. See it with the audience too. Like, the audience I was with, since it was opening day, it was pretty crowded and they were enjoying it. They were having fun, and it is great. It's a fun movie, even though it has some really, even though it deals with the subject of slavery, but it's still fun. It has some really serious moments, so you're not just like you're not making too much of a joke out of slavery. And one of the things, I don't know why I didn't mention this, another casting thing, Samuel L. Jackson was amazing. He was hilarious in every scene he was in. He's like this old, he's a free slave, and he used to be, but he's old, he's like in the 70s, the character he plays, and he's like incredibly racist towards like people, and it's hilarious. It's just funny. Every time he was on, you were just laughing, and he was great. Like I said, this cast is amazing, memorable. Probably one of the year's best. Now, not as perfect as I was expecting, but still pretty dang good. Still pretty dang perfect. Definitely a movie that, when I think back on it, I'm not thinking about the problems. I'm just thinking about how awesome it is and how, like, the movie kind of gets better once you think about it. So I think back on it, it's like, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. And just all around, really good movie. Practically perfect. Like I said, if you're a fan of Tarantino, you'll love it. If you're a movie fan, you'll really like this too. Maybe not love it as much, but you'll really enjoy it. And definitely a movie to check out. So, out of 10, I'm going to go a 9.5 out of 10. Almost a 10 out of 10, but not exactly. 9.5. That's Django Unchained. Like I said, see it. It's a really good movie. It's really definitely worth it. It's fun. And that's about it. This is Justin. Talk to you guys later.